Waterford Town Board at 5:30 on January 12th. Please stand for pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm looking for approval of town board minutes dated December 8th, 2025, and special minutes dated December 19th as printed and December 28th as revised. Looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
I got a motion, looking for a second.
I'll second.
Got a motion second, call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. We'll move to pay claims as presented, Treasury report. As stated on the agenda, no payments will be made to the Wayne Park project and also the engineering firm. Just find my thing. Supervisor Murkowski also notified me he will be recusing himself from the Premier Materials Technology invoice because that with the new buoys for the lake stuff, and he's on the WMT. Looking for a motion to approve the payables.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion, looking for a second.
Second that motion.
Okay, call for vote, all in favor?
Can we have a brief discussion on that?
Sure.
Is there a plan to address the William Park Road project payments?
Yes, there is. I've been doing that chairman comments.
Okay.
Because yes, I've been gathering information and I will discuss it with chairs. Got a motion, second. Any more discussion? Call for vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to correspondence. We got a thank you from the Tishing Lake Fireworks Committee. Thank you again for your donation, our Tishing Lake Fireworks. We are looking forward to our fireworks 55th anniversary on July 4th, 2026. That is the only correspondence. Moving on to department committee reports. Greg Hort, come on down.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. This will be a quick one. I did submit my papers, as I had mentioned at last month's meeting, for being reelected, hopefully to this role as the district supervisor for the county for the next 2 years. That was submitted on time, and so they had received it all set to go. I just wanted to remind the board, and I will keep the information going, that the county is revising its platform for technology to .gov versus .com. Nothing to be done on it. I will make you aware as more happens. It's happening more at the department head level, and then it'll be getting filtered out over the next 2 or 3 months. I want to add one to this, please. I did send out a late note to the chairman, and I'm not sure if it got shared or not yet, but I think most are probably aware that the county sheriff, Chris Schmeling, is going to be retiring at the end of this year. And what will happen is that election will be up in, I believe it's November 3rd. It'll be a fall election. So he will be holding his position through the rest of this year. And then, of course, at that point, he has already decided he's stepping down. I've not talked to Chris yet. I'm not sure what his plans are or what he's thinking of. Probably going back to Florida. But whatever it is, we're going to be there to support him through this year. And the last thing is our next county board meeting is tomorrow night. That's why I don't have a whole lot to share at this point. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to offer any information. That having been said, I'll get off your agenda.
All right, thank you. Very good. All right, we're gonna move on to police department.
Start out by swearing in a new officer. Madam, you want to come up here? This is Officer Kimberly Chapman. She joins us with over 12 years of experience, quite a bit of training and experience in investigations, criminal crimes against children, ICAC stuff. She also handled quite a few of the sex crimes investigations in the village of Sturban. So I'll have you read that. Raise your right hand.
I do solemnly declare upon my honor and conscience that I will act at all times to the best of my ability and knowledge in a manner befitting a police officer for the Waterford Police Department. I will preserve the dignity and will respect the rights of all individuals. I will discharge my duties with integrity and will promote understanding and conciliation. I will exercise my authority as a police officer in the manner intended by the law. I will faithfully obey the orders of my superiors and will be ready to confront danger in the line of duty. I will act with honesty, courtesy, and respect for the welfare of others and will endeavor to develop the esprit de corps. I will act justly and impartially with propriety towards my fellow officers, and I will constantly strive to honor this oath in my service as a police officer with the Waterford Police Department. So help me God.
Do you want to, say anything to anybody? Are you good?
Get to work.
We like the police department a lot, thank you.
I'll go through the chief's report real quick. December, calls for service 407. When you take out crime prevention's officer initiated things or no officer assigned, 307 calls for service we responded to. Noteworthy things, we took care of the Christmas parade without any incidents. We participated in the Adopt a Tree, which was the first year of that. We, I believe, took second place, which we will win next year. And then I would like to go over 2026 police department goals. And I have a goal statement for everyone up here. So I will just read over the department goals for year 2026. There is some measurables, there's some objectives that are in there. I'm looking for the board to kind of go over these, give me feedback, and get this approved next month. So quickly, goal number 1, evidence management audit and digital tracking implementation. We currently do all of our evidence pen and paper, and best practices to do that all digitally. So we're going to work at getting that into Phoenix, which is our records management system, and then everything can be logged and audited. So we're up to compliance. Goal number 2, staffing plan, shift coverage review based on call volume. Going over the calls for the last couple of years, I've been digging through that and kind of seeing where we need staffing. So the goal is to give the board a recommendation on what we need for staffing and break that down data by hour, day, season, so we can get a better idea of exactly where we need to be. Goal number 3, expansion and optimization of the water patrol operations. In this flux this last year, it's apparent that the water patrol was somewhat neglected, and the goal is to get back up to par as to where we should be for that. So kind of doing that same data analysis that we're going to do for road patrol, and then look over what our water operations should be, and we'll get a recommendation to the board on where we should be for that. Implementation of an automated time management system and scheduling system. I'd like to work with the town hall on that, and in brief discussions with them, the DPW as well, to find out a way where we can automate our time management system and save time on hours that we are actually going over those things to make sure there's no mistakes on it. So getting a system that will work with what's currently in place for payroll, that we can just send reports over there and it's much easier. So there's some measurables behind that. Goal number 5, comprehensive policy manual overhaul. We currently use Lexipol for our policies. So it is going to be going over that, making sure everything's up to date, making sure that the suggestions from Lexipol are there, and that we're compliant with state and federal standards. And then finally, goal number 6, professional standards, training, and officer wellness. And that's just to make sure that we're training and have our training logged correctly, within the state system. Everything is there, but trying to find a way that we can get more outside training and get officers doing different trainings that would be beneficial to the residents here. And then I said, finally, goal number 7, financial management of department and budget monitoring. So just keeping detailed tracking of the budget to make sure we're on budget and fiscally responsible. Any questions from the board?
I have no questions. Anybody else on the board have questions for Chief?
No questions, just a comment, Chief. Thank you for putting this together. It's great to see it on paper, and I know the folks from the public here can't see this, but there's some really well-defined metrics associated with each one of the goals that the chief laid out here, which is going to give us a great ability to work collaboratively with him in terms of how we're doing on the goals as the year progresses. So thank you very much, Chief.
Okay, moving on to Michigan Fire Company. Brianna, can you do the report? I know he just texted me a title.
It's a very short report, so I'm gonna just read it. Members of the town board and fellow citizens, I hope everyone enjoyed a joyful holiday season. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Waterford Fire Department for collaborating with the Michigan Fire Company in beautifully decorating the Christmas tree in the 10 Club Park. We eagerly anticipate working together for next year's festivities. Since our last meeting, we have responded to 37 EMS calls, 6 fire calls, 1 modest call, and 6 personal incident calls. This month alone, they've already addressed 22 calls. And that is it.
Okay, thank you. All right, Waterford Waterway Management District.
Good evening, board. Bill McCormick, APM chairman for the WWMD. In my report here, I'd like to inform everybody that we are currently working on an updated APM plan, and we're working with the DNR to basically expand some of the mechanical harvesting areas on the waterway. That updated plan will allow us to get another 5-year mechanical harvesting permit. So we'll be submitting that plan expected in January, February timeframe here. Next point to bring up is, and I talked about this at the last meeting, I want to emphasize it a little bit more. The WWMD is looking seriously at a drawdown dredging project. We have a meeting this Thursday, and we will be taking up a vote to potentially hire Baxter and Wixon to do the engineering work for this project. I want to remind everybody again, the project is potentially a 3-year project. In the first year, fall, winter of 2026, will be for the riparians to do their own dredging or shoreline cleanup. The second and third years, we're hoping in 2027 and 2028 that we will be doing a larger scale dredging project at that time. Do you have any questions for me?
I do not. Board members? Okay, thank you.
I do know that following my presentation here today, I believe Officer Brandt and Gary Hay.
I think Bill got a question.
Yes.
Yeah, I did have a question about the second and third year of the dredging project. Is this going to be navigation lanes? Is it going to be
Correct.
more than that?
It's navigation lanes. So think of it this way. So that first year is really for the riparian to do from their shoreline to the end of their pier or wherever they want to in front of their property, assuming they get a permit with the DNR to do their own dredging. Second and third years will be the navigation lanes, which will not go up right up against people's piers. It'll be out from their piers. So
Okay.
some people have the muck and sediment all the way to their shoreline, and they may want to address it in the first year.
Is there funding available for that?
We are working towards those means.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll move on to the presentation then.
Yeah, I'll talk while you do it.
Yeah.
I'll sit back.
You got it.
I'm pretty sure you guys can hear me, right?
Please introduce yourself.
So, I'm Officer Linda Brand. Riparian here. I'm one of the primary operators of the WPD Water Patrol. This past year, Gary Hay came on as one of our marine assistants, and I actually had the pleasure of riding with Bill also. And they actually observed part of the WWMD's responsibility is to kind of help fund us and part of our process and what we do in the water patrol. Gary took the initiative because he saw a mess out on the water. And one of the messes out on the water is our buoy system. If you guys didn't know, there are many ordinances for those buoys. And the ordinances that we currently have in place, we're gonna go through them right now and just kind of explain why we need permission and we can't just keep dropping buoys in the water anymore. It is a state law that you have to have GPS coordinates and positions before that buoy is actually placed. Well, in the last 10 years, that kind of went array because many of our officers and many of our staff didn't know that there are laws in place for these buoys. So now when you call us and you say, we don't have a buoy out in front of our house, there's a reason for that. And that one of those reasons is that I want to mitigate some of that, because every time we lose a buoy and every time there's something out in the water, it becomes an obstruction. And we want to stop those obstructions, because I'm sure waterway management and the dredging that's going to happen is going to put obviously a big strain on all those obstructions that we have in the water currently, and those are from the cinder blocks that keep dropping because of all the buoys in place. So Gary was kind enough to actually do all the GPS coordinates that we have of all the buoys that are currently out here. This is dating back from 1992. There are records indicating there are numerous approved and denied permits for these buoys that are out there. Many of the buoys currently are not there anymore. Many have moved. There's additional buoys that are out there. Currently, the responsibility of the town is to move, modify, remove, and add those buoys. That is our responsibility as an ordinance, and that ordinance is 4.06 if anybody wants to look that up. So currently we have town's responsibility of 83 buoys. The village responsibility is a total of 12 buoys. Totaling 95 buoys that are out there currently. So we remove them as the WPD. We do not have to do that, but we do that as a service because the town is ultimately responsible for that. The village again is responsible for those 11, and the 11 are located in the village, which is just over by the dam, the library area. So the WWMD and the Waterford PD is working diligently on kind of cleaning up this mess and mitigating some of these problems. So if you look here, the channel markers from the permit of 1992.
Those are the slow wakes.
This is the slow no wake channel markers that we have currently. The orange
Orange is what's currently listed in the ordinance book. Yellow is actually what's out there. So for instance, these are old. These are what the DNR thinks is there. They're not even there. All those orange ones are what's in the DNR's head. And this is what we gotta clean up. All the orange have to go away.
Mm-hmm. This is what's permitted. So since 1992, these orange ones are what's currently permitted for out there, and the yellow ones are actually what is currently out there at this moment.
So that's what we gotta clean up. We just gotta come into compliance. Some call this busy work, the rest of us are calling this, let's be real and comply with the state law.
So the current permit for our channel markers, and the channel markers are our black and white channel markers. That is an ordinance that is here in the town of Waterford to have those centerline markers that navigate or negotiate the waterway. We have 41 of those. Out of the 41, there are only currently 25 of them in place. We have slow no wake that Gary just had pulled up. So these are our channel markers. Again, there's only 25 of them that are currently in place. Our slow no wake, currently we are permitted for 19. Now remember, a permit and what's out there are two separate things. So in 1993, the permit was set by the current chief for those buoys to be placed. No GPS markers were added for some of these. So that's why we're trying to mitigate this problem, because the GPS markers are not out there. So when we go out there to put these buoys in, we're just guessing on some of them by what we know, right? And by when people complain there isn't a buoy out there, we're trying to now mitigate that and follow the compliance of the law by having these GPS coordinates when we submit back those permits. So now currently for 1995, when that last permit was put out there, there were 15 extra slow no wake buoys that were added. Are these your rock buoys?
Yeah, these are.
So rock buoys was a 2003 permit. Currently, there are 14 rock buoys out there. Gary was good enough to have a lot of these compliance met. He's been submitting in these permits to obsolete the old and bring up what we currently have for the current buoys now. The water seat course, which was permitted in 2019, is obsolete. No one's actually used that, even though it was permitted to be out there. And that's actually closer to the
It's up here.
Buena Park. Yeah, it's across from Egg Island out by Buena Park, and it was an actual water ski course. Gary just had that removed. He had to submit that and have that removed off of our DNR waterway. Next is gonna be the new rock buoy. So if you guys don't know this, there is that tree that was removed out of the waterway on the access going into the village. Gary and I discussed it because it's too shallow. It's less than a foot there. We decided to buy a rock buoy that's only gonna be about approximately 3.5 foot high. Maybe something like that. It's gonna be wide and flat, and it's hopefully gonna negate some of the people losing their transoms in the water and showing you that there's still an obstruction there and not to go. I want to think you think that, but we're doing that and spending the town's money to make sure that people aren't going to damage more of their boats out there. Just to give you an idea real quick, the cost of buoys is an average of $255 per buoy. We do have state statutes in place to also negate any kind of molestation for buoys. I know that sounds funny, but that is an actual state law. The cost for those for destroying a navigation aid is $218 fine, just so that you guys are aware. Again, these are marked under 4.06. It's our town ordinances under speed restrictions. Gary, what else you got?
The red and the green, those buoys, if you're familiar with them, at the bottom of the lake, those were never permitted, but they are now. Another reason this needs to be cleaned up.
Do you want to put all the buoys out there?
And I'll bring them all up.
Sorry it's so big we can't pull it any closer, but you'd get a better idea if you could see the mess that's currently out there and what we have to deal with. Just to give you an idea how long it takes an average of 2 days for us to put those buoys out there and an average of 2 days to remove those buoys also. That is time that's spent by us officers and the WWMD to get together, to get the supplies, get the people, get out there, get it done, clean them. It's a very tedious and dirty project, and volunteers are always welcome. So that's what our current waterway looks like, and that's why we want to negate any more problems, and we want to make sure that we, the town, are in compliance with the state statutes and the state laws, and this is why, personally, we're not going to keep taking complaints of buoys not being out there. We'll look at the statute, we'll look at the ordinance, and make sure that by GPS coordinates, we currently have what we legally can be permitted to have out there. Do you guys have any questions?
I do not. Mark?
I have one question. Thank you, Linda, Gary, for the update here. Great information. I'm hearing multiple ordinance revisions, town ordinances, in order to align what we have permitted with the DNR, etc. Is our town ordinance committee actively engaged in the revision of those ordinances? Okay. We want to make sure when it actually comes down to the actual logistics of modifying the town ordinances and recording them, that the town ordinance committee is actively engaged, if not leading that work, and it's not falling on your shoulders to do.
Absolutely. When the ordinances need to be changed at this current moment, Gary's just applying for the permits to make sure that the permits match the ordinances that we currently have in place. Once we need to modify that ordinance, the ordinance committee then will be involved completely to revise those.
Very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you both. Thank you. Good job. All right, moving on to Park and Road Department.
You're welcome.
Jim, would you like to introduce yourself? You do the DPW support?
Get the camera back.
Thanks for the time. We just want to make sure that, it's the town's responsibility. We're taking the lead for getting it up to date. Dan, your question on ordinances, we're not to that point yet. The only ones that need ordinances are the slow no wait.
Yeah.
Because that's enforceable when it comes time. And I just had a discussion with the DNR today, because we have areas defined of slow no wait now.
Yeah.
We may get away with just updating buoy locations by giving them
Great, that would be awesome. Thank you, Gary, awesome, great work, appreciate it.
Alright, Park and Road. Jim, you wanna introduce yourself for everybody here? You are the new DPW superintendent?
I'm the new DPW director tonight, but I also would like to introduce and welcome to the town of Waterford resident Chris Schnitzel as our new full-time hire for the town DPW. He's taking the position that I once held. Chris brings 10 years of experience from his work at the village of East Troy, and we are very pleased to have him join our team. Chris is coming in to fill the void being left with the retiring of DPW Director Ken Hintz, whose final day will be this Thursday. Ken has worked here 33 years. We've had 7 snow events since the last meeting. While that seems like a lot, with actual snow being so little, it's important to understand that the fluctuating warmer temps and rain that washes the salt residue off the roads, leaving them completely bare. So when we get another snowfall, even when we get a ½ inch or less, it can cause icy conditions on the untreated roads. So while we haven't had a lot of snow in inches this month, we have had a lot of snow accumulation events. Going to dump and garbage. The town dump is open the first and third Saturday of the month from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Dump is for town residents only. It will be open this upcoming Saturday, January 17th. Our largest cost for the dump is the company, our garbage company, GFL, hauling the dumpsters away. Every household also has weekly garbage pickup from the residents. Most people are probably not aware that large items can be picked up with your weekly garbage as well. This includes tires, appliances, mattresses, carpet, even tires. The caveat is that it is one large item per week, and you must call the company beforehand to let them know and receive a ticket number for them to pick it up. If more people were to take advantage of this, it would save time and money, both for the residents and the town. You can go to the town website to get more details to what they all take, the number to call, and the protocol to follow. GFL's phone number is 262-679-0860. Any questions?
I have none. Board?
How's this Lenny Hill?
All downhill from here. Can't love to say all those years.
Hey, is Chris in attendance tonight?
He is not.
Okay.
At least I don't believe so.
No, I missed it. I saw the second.
I would just like to say that I have used that large item pickup by GFL, and it is quite convenient to just have them come pick it up.
That is the point that I was bringing this up tonight. I took over the first, and I've been looking at some of our receipts from the garbage pickup, and the tire dumpster, to get it hauled away, it's about once every 3 dump days. It costs us a little over $1,000. You can have 2 tires hauled away at your house for free, 1 per week. You have to call them. But the other problem we have is mattresses, sofas, large items. They take up a lot of room in the dumpsters. If you can have them hauled from your house, that would save us a lot of time. At the dump, it's so busy right now that if we can keep some of those big items out, we won't fill those dumpsters. We don't have to crush them as much. So if we can just take advantage of that, I think we'll be further ahead.
Just an idea on that. I mean, great information. I think it's super important that we get this out to the public and we continue to emphasize it. So, because it is a money-saving thing. So great start with your creativity on that. We might want to consider just printing off a 1-pager, a flyer, and when people come to the dump and they're hauling a sofa or a mattress or whatever, just informationally give them that information and let them know it's a money saver for the town if they just handle it on their own with GFL.
I think Rayanne is already taking care of that.
Yeah.
And so if you want to pick one up, you can pick one up here, look on the website, but it's there. I'll pick one up at the DPW office.
And Jim, there's still electronic pickup by special order too, right?
There is, and they also take TVs, which they didn't in the past, and that used to cost us money. So if they want that one pickup, they can go pick up a TV for free.
And they have to call for special pickup
They
and
have
take
to
a
call for
number.
that, yes, and make sure you don't call for like 2 pickups. If you get that second pickup, might cost you something, so be careful. It's just 1 pickup. Talk to the people from GFL and they'll let you know.
They could pick it in.
Right.
That per year, pickup
pickup per week. Per week. Okay. Except for tires. Tires is only 80 a year. 80 a year? 80 a year, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to operations committee. Any report? No report. Thank you. Moving on to ordinance committee. Report?
Quickly, I don't have a formal report, but I'd like to bring something up to the board, if possible.
Sure.
Okay. Report. In communication with operations committee, the operations committee and the ordinance committee is asking if the board would not object to us meeting together as the two committees together to discuss policies and procedures that we feel, both committees feel, need to be put in place so we don't get into another quagmire like we did with Buoy Park. And these committees have talented people on them that can handle this and try to bring something forward to the board so that we have a clear policy and procedures in regards to contract bids.
I have no objection against that, but it just has to be posted properly and stuff like that. So I don't have a problem with two board meeting deal.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
No objections, good idea.
No objection.
All right, moving on to town planning commission recommendations.
There were two applications for pier permits. One was approved, the other one was approved with a fine. And I believe she left, but I understand that there is now more things to be discussed on those topics.
Correct. We gotta address the issue or ratify the fine. But after the meeting, it was brought to us because when we're getting these pier permits, they're not reflecting, these companies working with our town residents are getting them the pier, but then they're putting lists next to them, which does not go with our ordinance. And that's what we just found out in discussion after the last meeting. So like the first pier permit, the gentleman, he is still here, correct?
Correct.
Can I ask you to come back up?
Sure.
And repeat what we talked about to the board here, is it?
Sure.
And he was smart enough to get through this before. You just have to state your name and address.
Tony Richards, 6421 North Michigan Road.
Basically, the planning commission got the documents here. Looks fine how we see it, the 10 feet from each side of the pier, not a problem. But afterwards, he mentioned he was going to put a boat lift there. When he put the boat lift there, it violates the ordinance. That's not reflected on these plans.
Well, if they don't put the lift on there, we don't know if they're getting less or not.
So, that's what we gotta do. Obviously, the planning commission approved the pier, but they did not approve any lifts or anything like that.
Did you get that?
I did not.
Okay. This is what I was given.
If you submitted it, they got it.
You did get it.
If you submitted it with your pier permit
So
application.
they said that
Who's they?
Somerset Marine
No,
said that they submitted all the paperwork
no,
and
no.
I'll show you what I got. I didn't get that.
No, it's whatever is submitted with the pier permit application is what the board receives.
We've never, Somerset has done other things, I don't know if it's new management, we've never had a problem.
no, it's not new management.
Well, when I was dealing with Hayes, they said it was an internal situation.
Well, that's fine. We gotta get to the next. So,
But, I
this is
mean,
what you
management
brought up,
thinks
he's
all-
the liaison. Right. You know, we can change what the planning commission recommended, or we can, they just approved the pier as is. They didn't approve any lifts, and talking afterwards, you want a lift on the side, which we can't approve. So if we go to a vote now, I can't say yes to, I can say yes to the pier, but I can't say any lifts. And if you put a lift in there, and if you report it back to us, you have your real lift.
Well, I guess I'm not getting a pier then. Because
Well,
this
because they
is tens
reconfigured
of
it.
thousands of dollars.
I know.
And where we live, it's a circle, it's like a big curve. So if you really take the lot lines, they're all gonna intersect at some point. So when you say 10 feet from the property line, you know, it all depends on how far you go out, and really, I could probably go out another 20 feet before I hit navigable water. So this is a situation where the town's gonna have to figure out something, because
When applicants come in, we say everything has to be off the lot line. We even go, if you have a jet ski lift, if you have a boat lift, everything has to
But
be.
he didn't submit his.
but it's off the lot line. What you're telling me is that I have to be 10 feet off the lot line.
He submitted his application.
And he's saying he's at a boat lift.
Correct. He submitted his application, but he's saying that Somerset told him they submitted something as well,
Right.
correct? Which is not true. Because
So
he
we've
pulled,
done what we needed to do.
yeah,
It's
he pulled his
Somerset.
permit.
Cause I was told that your pier has to be 10 feet away from the property line. It doesn't matter about a lift, because a lift is not permanent. A lift can come in and out.
I'll defer to legal here for this.
Yeah, the ordinance, everything has to be.
Yeah, so do you want me to, answer
You
this
guys
real
can-
quick?
yeah.
So there is a state statute, the state statute went in the ordinance in 2009, and it is a peer administration state statute. They'll actually lay out and define what your ordinances assist with the town, and it clearly states how far from the lot line, and then if there is any convolution in there with applying an extension, right, which means a dock or a lift, it will say from the riparian rights, how far out you can actually go. You have to hire a company then that comes in from your lot line to go out, I believe it's 30 to 50 feet past your pier to see where those riparian rights are. So you are not blocking the waterway or anyone else's riparian rights. So that law is in place and it's been there since 2009. So it is the responsibility of the homeowner actually to hire a company to find out where their actual lot line is.
And that's exactly what I did. And they
Okay.
came out there with a drone,
Okay,
and they showed the line, and then they told me that my pier has to be 10 feet from that line.
I think
Not,
the issue,
your
not the
pier,
lift.
right, so that's separate, and that is in the state statute on where it has to be placed.
The pier.
right, but the local ordinance, if
But the
I'm
local ordinance is, you're telling me now
if I'm
that
understanding
a
it.
lift has to be 10 feet away from that.
No, if you look and read the ordinance, it clearly states what the pier length and where the placement is, and then any attachments from there have to be. It clearly states in there where that dock
Oh.
also has to be, the lift.
You should be on the board.
I agree.
I only know that 'cause I read and follow up on it.
So I don't know, what's going on? Does this pier
Well,
work?
the planning commission approved the pier based on the documents that I had. I didn't have the drawing that you just shown me, the stuff, so I don't have that.
Okay.
But the planning commission approved this. This board decide whether to approve it or not based on the drawings that were submitted to us at the planning commission. So I would need somebody to get it back to motion.
But knowing that I'm gonna put a lift to the left of that pier.
The motion from the planning commission does not include any lift or anything like that. It includes just the pier.
But she was saying just the pier has to be 10 feet off the
No.
riparian line. No? I'm wrong?
We went all over this.
No.
I don't want the guy to do something, the other one's gonna do it.
So the state statute clearly defines where you're allowed to put a pier. But if you read that statute and then after the pier permit is provided, it clearly details that you cannot add any extensions or modify it without adding in that lineage or where you're putting an extra extension. A dock lift is considered an extra extension. So if you
A
did.
boat lift
A boat lift,
is
correct.
considered an extension to the pier.
Correct, yes, it's a modification or addition. Unless you put the pier in before 2009, anything that you're changing or modifying from that is not grandfathered in. Has to have a whole new pier permit application, and photos technically should be submitted with it, with everything that you're doing.
Okay.
Correct.
So with that being said, I guess everybody else is in trouble then. I don't know. I don't even know what to do now.
I don't know how everybody usually we have people.
I would
apply for lifts. I thought we went all over the lifts and stuff when we came in, because we had spoke for a long
Yeah.
time. So there was no mention of a lift at that time, we were just talking about the piers here. This is all new to me, that's why I'm just hearing.
It just came up after the meeting, so. The planning commission approved the pier, we didn't have any discussion on any lifts or anything like that.
And I was under the assumption you got everything that I got because that's what I was told. Everything was sent to you guys.
There's clearly a miscommunication with Somerset, with several residents, but whatever you gave when you came in, that is what the board gets.
you want, as a board here, we can table this, we can go back to Somerset, clarify. I don't want you to do this twice, I mean,
Well,
we have some time, and.
I do have a contingency in my contract saying if I can't get a permit for the existing pier, that it's null and void.
Yeah, when you give me the
So-
existing pier, so I, but you're not
But-
gonna lift, you want your lifts.
But that's on my paperwork. That was the design I was given with the lifts.
Going off the paper we got, I don't, looking at yours,
Okay.
doesn't matter.
Looking at the paperwork that we have, looking straight ahead, you've got 10 feet to the left and 19 feet to the right, so you don't really have a whole 10 feet to play with. You could get 9 feet on one side and 10 on the other. You got approval apparently for the pier, but not the lift, so I would suggest that you maybe consider coming back next month and show the drawing that you have with the lift. Are you gonna put a lift on the right side too?
No.
See, there you can probably put a lift on the right side because you got 19 feet on that side. Put on the 19-foot side, then you probably be fine.
I would think you'd have a thing with the contingency, because Somerset did not do what they said that they did. They did not submit that paperwork to us.
They submitted.
Right?
They submitted.
What does the board want to do?
So we have nothing,
Yeah, put it that way.
anything we get, they would have received.
They would have.
Okay, well,
We don't have it.
Sorry.
I guess I'm not getting a pier, so,
Well,
thank you.
I'm gonna recommend that the board does not move forward with the planning commission recommendations.
Are you making a motion?
And,
But this is what it is.
Correct, yeah, we have the next one.
right. Right. Ultimately, I would like to see both of these homeowners and Somerset Marine come back to address the planning commission and ultimately the board in order to sort through this after they clearly review the local ordinance and what it says and be able to respond to planning commission and board questions.
I get that. So you making a motion, I understand?
Yes, that's my motion.
Looking for a second?
Second.
Got a motion, a second, discussion? Call for vote for this pier number one?
Aye.
Aye. Alright. Supervisor Young, let's go to the second one.
The second one was a variance because, again, Somerset put the pier in, there were some issues, the platform at the end is too large, and the planning commission voted to implement a fine to deter others from just doing it and then begging for forgiveness after.
And that one, we found after the fact that they're putting a lift on the wrong side too. So that's gotta be addressed, so.
And that homeowner isn't even aware of that because she left the room, so she's not aware of the fact that we also found that afterwards.
So, I would recommend we do the same motion you did before, and they can come back.
I'll make the same motion.
So you had asked in that meeting regarding fines, so most other, when the situation comes up, it's usually a fine to have whoever change whatever it is, so it's like a fine per day, like $50 to $500 per day, it's a new violation. So if, let's say, this boat lift goes up and it should not be there,
It's already in.
yeah, somebody could get a fine literally every day to have them take this down. If you wanna go the variance route, which was discussed in terms of giving a fine, that would be the one-time fine, not so much to penalize this person for what someone did.
Another option would be to modify the ordinance so that the pier does comply, which is what we did last month with the signs that were made for the ATVs.
Well, there's multiple issues with that. I mean, there's multiple ordinance violations now. One being the size of the platform and the square footage of the dock. That was the one that came before the planning commission and was addressed. The other one being the fact that there's an intended boat lift, which will violate the 10-foot distance to the lot line. The homeowner isn't even aware of that one yet. So I appreciate that as an idea, Bob, but I don't know if we can move that forward in its entirety based on what we know right now.
I don't think we could do it tonight. I think that would require an agenda item to modify the ordinance, but it would at least fix the pier issue, which was brought forward. I mean, until it was, I don't know what the conversation was that happened in the contractor about the boat list, but until that came out here, I mean, that wasn't discussed. So as far as the ordinance modification, it would fix the pier issue that was brought to planning commission.
Well, the other way to fix it would be just to have them reduce the size of the deck from 192 square feet to 112. You know, have the pier deck match the ordinance rather than changing the ordinance to match the pier deck.
Well, that was kind of the point that I brought up about the ATV signs, was that we modify the ordinance to fit the sign rather than modifying the signs to fit the ordinance.
To muddy it further, the other potential solution would be to modify the ordinance to have a separate section that if there's going to be a variance, there could only be one time fine in conjunction with the variance. Otherwise, you have the daily fines.
I hate to do that, because then people might go, oh, I'll just pay that fine, and I'll get whatever I want.
It kind of sets the precedent anyway with going.
Well, both of them guys come back, so we have a motion second. I'll call for a vote. How do we vote on the second here?
Aye on the motion.
Aye. You wanna repeat the motion now?
Yeah, I'm motioning that we withdraw the planning commission recommendation, or that the board does not approve that recommendation, and that we go back to the homeowner, ask the homeowner and Somerset Marine to come back and address the planning commission and the board again, based on the new information that we have and their review of the town ordinance that's in place today. That's my motion.
Was there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion second, call for it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Winner, selected, I voted sticker contest winner. Rihanna?
I'm gonna defer to Tom.
No, that's me. Okay.
You won it.
I did not win. No, I'm reporting the news. I'm not making the news here. All right, just for context, at last month's meeting, Tina Mayer, our wonderful town clerk, brought up the fact that there's an opportunity for community engagement here, celebrating the U.S.'s 250th anniversary, and the fact that we here in the town have 4 elections coming up this year. Tina brought up the idea of getting our young kids in the community involved and maybe curious about local government and how it works. So we reached out to Fox River Middle School and Washington Caldwell School and asked kids in the 6th through 8th grades to take a crack at voting, at creating a new I voted sticker. I mean, I think everybody's familiar with the I voted stickers that you get when you come in and vote, or have the opportunity to wear them proudly for the remainder of the day. So that happened. The kids did some awesome work in creating sticker ideas, and the town supervisors here had an opportunity to review them and vote on them, and we have chosen 3 that we think are absolutely awesome. And it was great that we were given the latitude to choose 3 instead of having to pick 1, because that would have been really, really tough. So we did pick 3. So the plan going forward is that we're gonna have the winning designs created, the stickers created, and invite the kids and their families to come here to the February board meeting, where they'll be presented with their sticker design and a certificate, an award certificate, and a little something special, photo opportunity that we're gonna have. A great opportunity for some nice community engagement and getting the kids involved in what's going on here. So big thank you to Tina for the awesome idea and for coordinating all this. And we'll look for the designs to be put out in the near future via the town website. And we're also working on the potential to spin up a town Facebook page as a new communication channel for our community overall. So hopefully we have that up and running within the next month. So thank you, Tina, and great job. And as well, you were absolutely fantastic through this, so thank you so much.
For clarification, are all 3 of the top 3 going to rotate?
All the stickers are gonna come in. We're gonna have them all available for the elections.
But I mean, it's not gonna be just the top 1 that's gonna be on the stickers, is it?
No,
All 3?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
And then there is gonna be one other one that we just cannot let go by, so we're gonna do an honorable mention.
All right.
So Riparian and I, we picked that one already.
Great to know we have the flexibility.
Yeah, and then, we'll be doing it again in November for the high schoolers. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Discussion of possible action regarding RFP for town property tax assessment services. The board all got copies of it. Tom, I'm gonna go to you. You can read on this one.
Yep, thank you. Okay, so, as you guys are aware, our current town tax assessor, property tax assessor will be retiring at the end of June this year. So we are actively searching, or we're going to be actively searching for a new town tax assessor. And the way that will work this time around is that we will be hiring a firm, not a specific independent tax assessor. So what we've done over the last month is Tina Mayer and Kathy Romanek, the town assessor, or tax assessor, drafted an initial request for proposal document to seek a new tax assessor. And we took that, we did some revisions and reviews to it. Attorney Kryshak took a swing at it and added some commentary to it. We went back to Tina and to Kathy, got a couple of additional tweaks to it, and what the board has in front of you right now is the final recommended request for proposal document that we as a town would send out to a number of candidate firms that we could partner with. And we are looking for input or discussion on this RFP tonight, and hopefully an approval vote to proceed with it. So, questions on what you're seeing in the RFP?
Well, I have a, let's see, is Tina still?
She just stepped out, I can get her if you need her.
Oh, okay.
She was leaving for the night.
Well, in copy that I'm looking at, number 4, scope of work, line 5, it says, second line, Racine County, and that town is still in there after the word Racine County. I don't know if that's corrected.
No, that was correct.
That was
It
correct.
corrected, yes.
But,
That was taken out.
You can handle the first.
no, I thought it had the, well, show.
There was one that was distributed
Literally just
5 minutes before the meeting.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, I got the wrong one. Otherwise, everything was fine.
Any other thoughts, questions, input on this RFP?
Okay, looking for a motion to approve it, so we can get it out. We should pick the date.
We did, February 27th, Tina would like it back, February 27th, and
Yeah, just to sketch the timeline here, the goal is to get this RFP out, hopefully this week. We'll give the responders up until the end of February to respond. The board will assess then the respondents that we get back in with the goal of choosing the selected firm that we are going to move forward with in March, hiring them and having them start in April, which will give us a few months for them to work in parallel with Kathy Romanek before she retires, and an effective transition so that goes as smoothly as possible. It's also important to note that within here, it's not just hiring the firm that will do the tax assessment, but this also includes the full property tax revaluation work that we're going to be looking for them to do.
Okay, looking for a motion to approve this RFP.
I'll make a motion to approve the RFP.
Got a motion, looking for a second.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Any discussion on it? Okay, I'm gonna call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Alright, passes. Change planning and town board meeting date from August due to elections. What date do you wanna change it to?
Okay, so our congressional primary is, Tuesday, August 11th. I'm not sure if you guys are okay with either moving it ahead to August 3rd or August 17th.
Would the 3rd give Heather enough time to get all her reports and stuff done?
Okay, so then it would be August 17th.
Yeah, I recommend the 17th.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm just gonna have to attend remotely because I won't be in town on the 17th, and I'll do my best to attend by Zoom.
That's a Monday, right?
Yes.
Correct. We're just gonna move it back.
Any other conflicts, Henry?
Should be good.
Sounds good. Yeah, you won't be here. So, good point, you won't be here. All right, I'm looking for a motion to move the August board meeting to August 17th. Planning and town board.
Yes, please.
I'm not making the motion, I'm looking for a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
We got a motion second, any discussion? Call for a vote?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. I have a couple chair comments here. Winter Park thing, yeah, we're working on it. I've got some stuff. I had Tina send some stuff to the board. We're not paying the bills right now. I did get an email today clarifying some of the overages, detailing it down a little bit that I'll share with the entire board tomorrow. I also have a meeting set up with the Vice President of COPER on Thursday with Supervisor Kirky at their offices for some discussion. The plan after that, depending on how that goes, is meeting with Payne and Dolan, maybe the engineers too, and then revisiting it together as a special meeting. I want to give you guys as much information as possible. Probably with my email tomorrow when Tina sends it out, I'm going to say, if you have any questions for the board, let us know. Maybe we could discuss some stuff. I made notes, I got the minutes. I want to go forward in that and see how we're going to do it, but I will send this stuff out tomorrow. Just got it today. The other thing is on the agreement for the operations for the Waterford Police Commission, that has been reviewed. Tony's reviewed it, been submitted to the village. Village has a meeting coming up this Wednesday. It's been revised, the police committee has looked at it. That has been in progress too. As Tom sort of mentioned, we are working on the Facebook page, similar with what Waterford PD is doing for the town portion, for DPW and the office and stuff like that. The final thing is, we have a Tri-County unit meeting coming up this Thursday. The County Exchange, I know myself is going, I think Dale, you are going, and then Tim and you have another person coming from the DPW, Parker coming from DPW, so we'll be in attendance of that. And then the final thing, there's a fishing jamboree, ice fishing jamboree with no ice coming up this Saturday. So enjoy your boats, and the party will be at the Lions Civic Center, so that is all I have. All right, looking for a motion to adjourn.
Do you know when that contract with the village for the police commission was discussed or created? I don't recall any meetings being noticed for it.
No, it's still in discussion because it's got to come back to the town board for final review after both committees.
I guess how did it get drafted in the first place? Where were the discussions on drafting, or did the attorney just draft it?
Well, we got samples, stuff like that. The attorney reviewed it, sent it to me. I met with Adam, and it went to the committees, and now it's just working out. There's nothing final to come to the town board yet until it's.
Well, I'm just asking where the discussions happened to get it to the place that it is now. That's all I'm asking.
Well, samples we had from back in the beginning, it was a long time ago.
It went to the committees, I believe early December. Everybody looked at it individually due to the holidays and everything else going on. Sent their recommendations individually to Ed, who took it to the attorney, and the attorney and him worked it out, and then sent it to the village just here recently.
So it was all discussed privately?
It was recommendations to put in, and the attorney took care of it from there.
Yeah, it's gotta come back to the board for any final approval that the town does. Go to public, you know what I mean?
Because then the village has to put the recommendations, and we're gonna have to meet together. It's all gonna be different each time, until we all come to a consensus.
Yeah, it's in.
Very rough draft stage right now, that's going to them as well, they're gonna do something similar where they're gonna make their recommended changes and send something back.
I guess one of my concerns is why do I have to see this get published on the village website as the first time I'm seeing a draft proposed contract with another municipality?
Well, I don't know how to post their things, we haven't discussed it before.
The fact that it even existed though is kind of a secret.
No, see, we talked about it for a long time.
We talked about the concept of it, the fact that the document existed was never brought forward. The board should be kept in the loop on these things, just like they should have been kept on the loop on the added cost of Random Park. I mean, the communication up here is substantially lacking.
I think the contract was mentioned a few times in the last few months, at least twice by the chief himself. I don't know exactly what dates, but it's been mentioned, it's been talked about.
I am looking for a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
A motion second?
Second.
All All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
PM.